Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out the Akko Mod 007 DIY Barebones kit that was sent to me by Lethal Gaming Gear themselves, and they are an official retailer of Akko products in the US, and they were kind enough to send it out to me. Now on their website right now, the only one that is in stock is the Sakura Pink variant, but they also come in the Dark Knight, Space Gray, and Ocean Blue. The one I have here today is the Dark Knight, and the keyboard goes for $149.99. Now this is a 75% aluminum gasket mounted keyboard with a volume knob. It has RGB, but it is a north facing PCB that supports 3 and 5 pin switches. It also comes with an aluminum plate or an FR4 plate. So the FR4 plate is inside the box when you buy it, and you can just swap it out, and it comes with extra gaskets so you guys can put those onto the FR4 plate. It has sound dampening materials for the case and the PCB. I swapped out the sound dampening materials in the case for something like cotton because I like how it sounds more when it's inside a case. Now I also tape modded this keyboard with the FR4 plate installed, and I used the screw-in stabilizers that I had already, and I will say they are a lot better than the stabs that come with this keyboard. The stabilizers are plate mounted that come with this keyboard, and they are pre-lubed, but they don't sound the greatest and they don't feel the greatest either because they still have rattle even though they have a lot of lube on them. That is something to keep in mind. I would recommend swapping out these stabilizers for something else. The switches I'm using are a tactile switch called the Bobo U4Ts that are regarded as one of the best tactile switches on the market, and honestly I will have to agree with that statement. They are very nice to type on, and I really like how they feel on this keyboard and sound. The keycaps I'm using are the Swag Keys Cat PBT keycap set. These are cherry profile, so the reason why I'm using these is because I wanted to see if they would have any interference with this keyboard, considering it is a north facing PCB, but I found out that they do not, and I'm pretty sure that's because this keycap set isn't as thick as something like a GMMK keycap set, and that is probably why it doesn't have any interference, but I'm not too sure. It does come with a coiled USB-C cable inside the box, which is also very nice. I will say there are two problems I have with this keyboard. One is the gaskets. So I only added 2 layers of tape and swapped it out with an FR4 plate, and I installed all the gaskets, but the flex is almost non-existent. Like, I don't know if it's just a personal error, like did I do something wrong? And the other problem I had is even out of the box, the volume knob scratched up against the top of the aluminum case and sometimes doesn't even work. So that is something to keep in mind. I don't know if that's the quality control issue, that is only a problem with mine, but I found that whenever I move the volume knob, it has a scratching noise. And sometimes even if it's having the scratching noise and moving, the volume doesn't lower or it doesn't raise either. You know, it's sort of like it's not in there all the way and it rubs up against the case, which is very annoying in my opinion. It does not sound good at all. So I basically don't really use it, even though it's there for a reason and you should use it. Now it does have RGB, a bunch of RGB modes, but I don't think there's a software for this keyboard. I think that the only way to use those RGB modes is if you're using the FN key with any of the 4 keys on the side. Those have different RGB modes, and then if you click FN up or down, it'll also raise or lower the brightness. And for it to be a north facing PCB and to be focused on RGB, I honestly don't think the RGB is that bright. So I'm not a big fan of the fact that there's not a lot of flex, and I'm not a big fan of the volume knob scratching up against the case. With all this being said though, it is probably the best keyboard that I've used so far in the span of my YouTube channel, and I really like how it sounds and feels. Maybe that's just giving too much credit to the board and it's actually the switches, but I really like how this keyboard sounds, and I'm pretty sure you guys will too. So here's the sound test. Overall, I'll say I can recommend this keyboard, but just know that the flex isn't really there, and I really hope you don't run into the problem I did, which was the volume knob scratching up against the case. And you know, if you're not going to use the RGB, I don't think that problem really matters to you, but the one thing I do recommend you do is to swap out those stabilizers, because you know, if the keyboard supports screw-in stabilizers and you have some, I would definitely recommend you do that. Other than that, let me know what you guys think about this keyboard in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.